All right, let's go. Ayo, we're three hot guys sharing our opinions because we're special and different. Gold medals, we're winning. Can't help it if we're burdened by our intellect. You can play checkers while we pretend we know the rules to chess. The council has spoken, and we are the chosen. Your nose is broken because I broke it.
And welcome back to another episode of Will of the Council. I'm, of course, your host, Joseph. I've got Jordan in the booth.
Why isn't my favorite mobile application working anymore?
I've got Danny on the Senate floor. Is that correct?
Yes. I have officially banned podcasts. No more.
Yay!
I've saved many women a lot of time.
And, of course, we've got Becky on the ones and twos. But let me tell you what she's not on is the greatest application of our time, TikTok. Do you guys want to talk about the most important thing going on?
Obviously. I mean, where else am I going to see videos of white women throwing nacho cheese all over a counter?
God.
Like,
it's kind of crazy that, like, yes, they just found a huge mass grave in Gaza. Yes, there are student protests at every university in the world right now. But did you know that we are no longer going to have direct access to the Built by Gamers guys going, wow, that's just like Five Nights at Freddy's.
I mean, to be fair, this situation that we're living through right now is a lot like Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's true. I'm feeling like security guard right now. I'm feeling like purple guy.
That's so true.
The first presidential candidate that gets in front of the mic and goes, oh, has my vote. 100%. All right, so here's what's going on. The Senate just passed a huge omnibus bill that had, the Senate loves to do this. They really do not like to get up off their ass like more than once or twice a year. And so
That's
they
true.
just take every single thing that they're going to pass and they put it in one big ass bill, and then they just pass the one big ass bill. And the bill has like $1 trillion for the ongoing Ukraine crisis, $1 quadrillion for the ongoing Israel-Palestine crisis, and a portion that requires the company that owns TikTok to divest from its Chinese ownership or risk being banned in the United States. So all I gotta say is youth vote secured.
Yeah. Look, it's just going to be me being sad for a second. Cause like, I can't believe like this is the thing. Like we used to pass like real legislation.
So bad.
So
Things are so bad. And they're like, don't worry, God, we got your back. Here's what you get. TikTok, man. Like, okay, stepping back for a second, I think there is an argument that like constant exposure to social media is super damaging. We talk about it in the context of children. I think it's damaging for pretty much everyone in this nation. And I am not that opposed to doing something about like applications that are designed from the ground up to just, I don't want to say manipulate you, but like gamify interacting with other people and functionally get you addicted. That does suck. And I think that, as a culture, we are kind of harmed by the fact that I would say probably everyone I know spends between 2 and 5 hours a day just scrolling on one social media app or another.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the solution to this problem is to be like, you know who owns TikTok? Those disgusting Chineses. Get that shit off my mobile phone.
it's crazy because, the sentiment when I see these kinds of posts online are a ton of just random people being like, wow, I can't believe you're taking away my like funny prank app or my funny dance app. And that's what it is a lot to these people, not to like defend TikTok and all these things like you mentioned, social media can be brain poison.
I'll defend TikTok.
Well, right. But like, that's the thing, like to normal people, even without young people, even to like normal people, this app is just like, it's just another YouTube to them. It's just funny videos or whatever. And so like, when you see that as like a person who just, it just uses TikTok to share stuff with your friends, you're like, really? This is what you want me to do? This is what you're doing with your like admin, right? Like this is what the Biden administration is prioritizing. That's gonna go well, man. Good stuff. Great. Good work.
Yeah, it's like really bad optics. I mean, it's bad optics. It's more than optics too, of course, because it's like, I mean, people use this app for fun, and yeah, of course. I mean, Joseph, I agree with a lot of the sentiment of what you're saying in terms of like social media is just bad on its face for a lot of different reasons, separate from TikTok. But like, you know, people just use this for fun and information seeking. Like people use it to find restaurants.
Yeah, a
The
huge
places
restaurant
that they
finder.
go, or like recipes or all this kind of shit.
The recipes
And
are
it's like,
good.
I know, and it's like, oh, so this is what we are prioritizing with our time, is the funny app or informational app that people use. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of dog shit on there, but that's any social media site. That's
Yeah.
the internet, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So it's just like, oh, it's just so, wow. Ugh.
I do like the larger concept that like TikTok needs to be stopped for like misinformation purposes. That one's always really funny for me because it's like, yeah, dog, welcome to the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Like there's I don't know if you realize this, but you know, the battle lines here have kind of been drawn. You had to get to this party about 15 years ago. The cat's out of the bag now. I just imagine these people just scrolling through TikTok and being like, "Oh my god, these people actually think that long cat is long." Like, oh, how do we stop this? This is unthinkable.
No community note. It's real.
Holy.
It's real.
No community note. It's real.
You know, it's actually not up to social media people to verify the truth.
It's just really funny because like I do think there's a lot of good justifications for like cutting back on the prevalence of TikTok and like doing what you can to curb kind of misinformation on social media. And I think they have found, I mean, I would probably say the absolute worst course of action possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think the Biden administration's so like blinded by how badly they're losing the young vote? They were like, fine, we'll just take it away. We'll take away the
Fuck it.
yeah, screw you.
What if they hold it hostage?
Yeah.
They're like, you know what?
Vote for me or else we're banning TikTok.
No, see, my theory is that what they're going to do is that the TikTok is banned, and now Biden's going to be like, we got to bring back TikTok. And they're going to bring it back to, like, win the youth vote. It's like, we, the Biden administration, unbanned TikTok. It's like, well, you
Folks,
banned it in
we're
the
gonna
first
bring
place.
back
We
Vine.
unbanned it.
Oh my God, I'd vote.
Vine
I'd vote.
is coming
I'd
back.
vote for them. I'd vote for them.
Who's our, what's the third party candidate? Is RFK is going to be like, we're going to bring back Yik Yak. No, that's okay, man. I don't need that.
No, you can leave that one in the fucking, in the ground.
Job's done.
Bleak world we live in. Bleak world we live in.
Yeah, this shit's rough.
That's why we got Reddit to heal our wounds.
Yeah, you ready to talk about some of the people who live in this bleak world?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I want to begin with one that, you know, I was just so happy to see because a couple of weeks ago, I got some shit on a stream. For those of you who don't know, I stream playing video games. As
Do
many
you play video games?
I guess like, you know, I'm video game adjacent.
I think
I'm
you
online.
just
There are video
yap.
games online,
Guys,
you know.
if you like a yapper?
I do a little bit of yapping. But one thing that I got a lot of heat for was I had to, at some point last week, kind of explain to a friend that a post they were looking at and getting upset over was actually very thinly veiled cuckold porn. And I explained that if you spend enough time online, you develop kind of an intuition about these. And I want to begin with a post on r/AITAH that I'm sorry is just clearly an erotic creative writing exercise.
So I've heard you talk about this before. I am interested because I kind of get what you're saying. Like a part of being online is just being able to see through things. You got to be able to read between the lines or look past the text on the screen. So I'm very curious to see this power that you have in action.
I'm excited.
So I'm looking forward to this.
It's a brain development that like I don't have because I just was online less than you growing up.
I think you people may be selling yourself short. When I read this one to you, you may immediately go, oh, I see.
No, I think I can get it too. I just want to see it in practice. And I have faith that you're going to be the one to be able to teach me your ways. So let's do it.
This comes from AITAH, which I should never have said I like this one because in the past couple of weeks, it has become the most creative writing exercises subreddit on the entire platform.
Yuck.
This is AITAH for body shaming my girlfriend's friend who wouldn't shut up about how she doesn't like white guys.
Okay, wait a second.
That's a heavy one. Heavy sentence.
Body shaming my girlfriend's friend who wouldn't shut up about how she doesn't like white. Okay. Girlfriend's friend. I'm just going to put it together as we go. All right.
Yeah. And real quick, I just want to point out this comes from a guy named Repulsive Air 1487, which is very subtle. All right.
Okay.
I, 22M, have a girlfriend, 20F, and she has this friend, 21F, who is completely unbearable. Her entire personality is basically how she doesn't fuck white guys. We all know someone like that, first of all.
Do I?
You're like me looking at yourself like, I'm a
It's
white
Danny.
guy. Do I? Yeah.
I guess I don't fuck
She
white guys.
constantly, well, you know, if you'd like, well, and constantly goes on rants about how white guys are bad at sex or they can't handle her, blah, blah, blah. I get people have preferences, but she always finds a way to integrate into any conversation her sexual preferences. It's like we could be talking about what we had for breakfast and she would be like, oh, you had a Pop-Tart? I once gave this black guy a Pop-Tart after he was done fucking me. I never would have given a white guy a Pop-Tart because he wouldn't have fucked me good enough to deserve it.
Okay, that's actually funny. I'm sorry, that one's funny.
I kind of hope she does say that because
I
like
know.
that's like
So funny.
that's like how me and my friends do bits.
Yeah.
Like we'll just force the bit no matter what the context
Yeah.
is. And this is clearly that too. It's like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Oh, you know, I was doing all right when I was having sex with a black guy, but I would never have sex with a white guy, so I would never be doing all right then. Okay.
Whew.
This incident happened when she told my girlfriend in front of me that she needs to experience a black dick once in her life. My girlfriend has never banged a black guy, in parentheses, and she looked at me, smiled, and laughed and said, oh, just kidding. My response is where I might have been the asshole. The friend is a bigger girl, probably size 18, 20.
Oh.
I said, I speak for the white guys when I say we will gladly give the white girls your size to the black guys. You may not want to fuck us, but we don't want to fuck you either. Black guys tend to like big girls. She shut up real quick. But after the hangout, my girlfriend said I need to apologize because her friend speaks that way out of insecurity. She knows she's bigger than the rest of the group and says these things to cope. I said it was fine, albeit annoyed, but fine. She insinuated my GF should cheat on me. I'm refusing to apologize until she apologizes. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, that's not real.
Not
This
hard to
is
sniff
not
out.
real.
Not a difficult one to
Okay.
figure out. This one is
Yeah.
unbelievably fake. It's
Yeah.
so clearly fake.
Yeah. Nobody just goes, well, you're fat. Like, I'm sorry, people are dicks. Like, you know, people are jackasses. But, like, nobody goes like, oh, well, you're a fat ass. Like, I mean, that's,
It's such a perfect Reddit thing. It's like got this vague insecurity about like the existence of black people and a bunch of
Yeah.
shit he picked up on from porn. It's got this epic scenario where this guy like epically owns a woman
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
being wrong
Oh, you
and
know, now
fat.
you say it, I can see like those things. I didn't think it was like that real, but I don't like have the like, I don't know, the investigative nature to be like, oh, I see the fakeness of it. You know what I mean?
And all the comments are like, you sure owned her. Not a single person questioning the veracity of
Yeah,
this
nah.
obviously fake story.
yeah, very fake. The response is written out too much. Like, this is fake.
This
is a
guy's like
creative
thinking
writing
in the
exercise.
shower, like, if I got told that my dick wasn't big enough because I'm white, how would I own a fat woman who said it? Like, he's in the shower
Yeah.
writing it out.
Nah, this is
and that's
loser
something that
shit
can
for
only
sure.
come from the mind of a Redditor.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God. There are a couple of people in here who are like not the asshole, and it's like, I'm sorry, dog. Like, if this was real, yeah, he'd be an asshole. Like, it'd be like he encountered like a cartoon character and responded poorly.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not like she was in the right either, but it's like,
right. But
oh, well, I don't like what you're doing, therefore you're a fat ass.
like what the like
Still, like, yeah, she should apologize for doing that shit, but also, like, I don't know. I don't see the cuckold porn part of it.
yeah, I don't see
but
that.
I do see how this shit is just fake.
And you know, not for nothing, Repulsive Air 1487. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Mm.
But, you know,
Yeah,
I could also be
1487.
very correct.
Extremely subtle.
All I gotta say is this man is one updoot short of fitting in perfectly on Reddit.com.
Yeah,
And on that note, let's get to our real ones. Folks, I just want to give you all a little bit of a context for how much we have to prune these fucking things. There's so many that we get that are just clearly fake. And I think one of today's is probably fake too, but you know, we're going to do it anyway because it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. Our first one comes from r/relationship advice. Again, folks, we love relationship advice. There's stakes to this thing. And this is a scenario that I think a lot of us can probably identify with. And I just urge you not to immediately snap judgment because I know I had a real big problem divorcing my own personal feelings from this one. Okay. Girlfriend 24F keeps eating food I bought for myself and gets defensive when I mention it.
27M.
Let's
Hey man,
get
are you-
into the text.
Hey Joseph, you okay? You good, man?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Listen, yesterday Jillian came up to me and she said, I would never eat food that you purchased for yourself because it doesn't do it for me. I need food that's been purchased myself.
What an amazing thing to hear from Jillian. Oh, that's awesome. Please continue.
My girlfriend and I split the cost of grocery shopping 50-50, since pretty much everything we buy is for both of us. Neither of us really eat breakfast, but recently I ended up unexpectedly losing a lot of weight, so I have started eating breakfast. Real quick, already getting on a bit of a tangent. How you guys feeling about breakfast?
I love breakfast.
I eat it sometimes, don't eat it others. I'm not consistent, but generally I do eat something in the morning.
Agreed. I mean, sometimes I'll just like skip, but if I can make breakfast for myself, I love it. Otherwise, I'll just like kind of wait it out. But I like breakfast. Great. Sometimes I'll eat breakfast foods at like 11 or 12.
Yeah, sometimes I just like get busy. Like I get in the shower, I'm kind of like late to get into the computer because I like slept in or something. And then I like get online, get working. I have my coffee. It takes too much time to make food, and I just forget about it. But it's not like a big deal. I don't feel strongly about breakfast one way or another.
I would just like to make an impassioned plea for breakfast. I think breakfast is one of the few joys in this cruel, fucked up world.
Yeah.
I've become a big breakfast guy recently. I've been doing yogurts. I've been doing strudels. I've been doing toast. I've been doing eggs. I've been doing English muffins. Oh man. There's so many fun breakfast foods.
Yes.
Oh, I should clarify. I love eating breakfast.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to cook is eggs. I just
Me too.
am not one of those people that's like, I must eat breakfast. It's like, if I forget it, it's like, it's fine. I'll eat it like 10 and then I'll be okay.
I've been cutting lunch for breakfast. I've been just doubling up on bananas, double fisting them, saying I don't need a sandwich. I got enough bananas here. Anyway, since the food I bought is just for me, I paid for it myself. I got it separate from the grocery shop. I bought myself a range of things that would last, so I wasn't having the same thing each day and it would last me a while. Once my girlfriend noticed what I bought, the next day she started using it herself to make breakfast. I asked if she wouldn't use much since I bought it for myself and I need to gain weight and that it was quite expensive. She said she wasn't going to use much, but the next day she did the same thing. I mentioned to her that since she's eating breakfast, we can just add the food to the grocery shop. She said no. She's only really having it because we've got things in. She doesn't really need to have it. I point out if she's going to use the food I bought for myself, then she can contribute towards it. She said she doesn't want to pay for things she doesn't need, but I pointed out she's more than happy to keep using it if someone else has paid for it. I just said if she doesn't want to pay towards it, then I don't want her having any more of it because I'm having to buy it more regularly if she's going to keep eating it. She said I was being selfish and unfair, but I just pointed out that she expects to be given the food for free. I said I'm happy to share it as long as she starts paying towards it, but then she accused me of making it all about money. I repeated that if she's not paying for any of the food, then I don't want her having any of it. How would you handle this?
Dude, are
so
you okay?
great.
This sounds a little personal.
I'm fine. This was posted by Schmothschild on r/.
What the heck?
Okay, listen. All I gotta say about this one is, how do you guys feel about Bert and Ernie's living situation? Who are you? Whose corner are you in here?
This is like the most married couple argument I've ever read in my entire life.
No, it's the most dating couple, like living together, not married yet. Couple argument ever.
I take that back. I agree. I think right step before, but it's definitely. I don't know.
Everybody's had this argument at least once, and there is a right answer.
Well,
elucidate.
I'm waiting.
Oh, all right, good. All right. No, she needs to contribute. Like, look, when she's going like, oh, I don't need it.
Correct.
She just keeps eating it. I don't need it, though. I'm not going to pay for it because I don't eat it. And then 3 days in a row, she eats it. But, she doesn't need it. You're clearly eating it for breakfast. Pay for it. Come on.
I think the context in terms of budget should be important. If you're tight on money, then this is really important. And you should respect that. You guys kind of have to, work together and figure out how to keep things cheap. And if he's buying something, a lower portion size or just because he thinks he's just going to eat it. And then, she shares, he's like, well, shit, I would have bought more and we could split it properly if I had known you were going to eat it. I don't know. This is weird.
Nah, okay, so Joseph has the glasses to be able to see through cuck porn.
Yeah.
I have the glasses to be able to see through this. The main problem here is all this whole situation just boils down to them not being willing to or not bringing up the conversation of taking the next step to pool finances. Just pool finances.
Yeah.
You're clearly
True.
living
I
together.
agree.
Just make a joint account.
This is
it doesn't matter that you're not married. Just make a joint account.
I will push back there. I think joint account is a huge step. But I think the guy's 100% right here when he's like, if we are both eating breakfast, it is included in our grocery bill. They're already splitting groceries. Like, I will just start when we do the grocery shopping, getting the breakfast food, and that will end up in the cart when we both pay for it. I think that's the easy thing here. Oh, and just by the way, just like I have the glasses that tell me when a story is fake, this is the realest story of all time.
100%. Yeah.
This is so clearly something that has happened.
Dear listener, sorry to say this, you will go through this argument once in your life.
Yep.
You will go through it. When you get into a relationship that gets serious
maybe several
enough,
times.
Hopefully not. Hopefully you find the one right away. Hopefully you land it in one. But when you get with a partner and you get to the point where you start living together, you're going to argue about this. Or, well, you'll at least discuss it.
Hold on.
Hopefully not argue about it like these two chuckle fucks are.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, I don't know. I feel like, am I just like too nice? I feel like if maybe I'm just in a good position in my life that I could be like, yeah, you can have my stuff. That's okay. Am I crazy? Like, I don't know. Like,
No. I would do everything for a woman. And I would start out that way too. But eventually it gets to the point where it's like, no, okay, we're clearly both eating the food that's being bought in the groceries. We got to start both contributing to the grocery bill.
Okay.
I will be misogynist here. The girl is eating the food that he purchased because he's like rapidly losing weight.
Right.
So I imagine that it is probably some like either like a supplement or like some protein rich like bar, right? And I imagine what's happening is she's getting one out and he's like, oh, hey, those are kind of expensive. And she's like, oh, I don't need them while eating it.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, she doesn't eat it though.
That would irritate me. Like, I'm sorry. You can have it. You can eat it. We're just going to have to pay for it together.
Yes. You're going to have to financially contribute to this relationship.
Okay.
Which I think gets resolved by just making a joint account, but whatever.
I feel kind of like lost on this one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm trying to like think of a scenario that this has like maybe happened to me and I can't like quite fathom it. You know what I mean? Like, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a pretty close one. We lived together for a while.
True.
So like when we would buy we never had this problem.
That's
did we?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I don't remember like ever doing this. We were very good.
Well, maybe you're just God's gift to roommates, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe you're just the kindest, gentlest.
Wait, this is normal? This is a thing.
Me, when I have people over and they drink a glass of tap water, I Venmo request them 37 cents. I'm like, that shit is not free.
Okay.
Am I too generous? Like,
I guess Mariah and I are, I guess we haven't had this like issue either because like we just kind of naturally figured out how to balance finances. But I should clarify when I say that you're going to have this argument, I should say that like this is an argument that is very common.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that for sure.
Some people are very, I kind of alluded to it before, that like this topic of conversation is hard to broach without kind of seeming defensive or argumentative, right? Because like money is something that can be very personal that people are very defensive of, and it's like, well, I'm enjoying the benefits of eating these protein breakfast bars for free, and now somebody's asking me to pay for them, and it's like, that sucks. It's like, well, yeah, but nothing's free.
Okay.
Eventually, if you're eating all the food or, eating half of the food in the relationship where we live together, I'm going to need you to contribute to that.
I am now kind of rereading the post a bit, and I'm seeing that he bought this breakfast stuff with his personal, like, kind of money, I think.
Yeah.
Because he says, like, well, separate from the grocery shopping, I am buying this because I need it. This is not our grocery bill that we're both working on together. I am taking the brunt of the payment here because I need this to up my weight, which is a separate issue of here's all the grocery shopping we're doing together. Let's split it. And so when she approaches that food, it's like, well, hold on. I did use my personal funds for this. You can have some, but let's include it in groceries because like I'm just not buying this. That's where I was like a little lost. I was like, wait, what's going on a bit? Like, this is just like, I don't get it. But now I kind of see it. I would be like, miffed, not necessarily about the money, just the respect of like, hey, I did pay for this. This is like my hard work that I'm doing to up my weight, and you're including it into groceries and you're not contributing. So like, I think it's just respect at that point, less than the money.
Right.
I get it. I get it. I'm with you guys. Thank you. That took me a bit. Sorry.
I agree, but I do want to point out that one, the answer to this is that it has become groceries. Like
Yep.
once a second person starts eating it,
Yes.
it's just groceries.
Correct.
And secondly, I love this woman's worldview. It's so perfect. She's like, oh, I'm not going to pay for this. And he's like, why? And she's like, well, I don't need these. And he's like, okay, but you're eating them. And she's like, yes, but I don't like paying for things that I don't need. He's like, all right.
Yeah, I don't
but
need
you
it.
are
I just
eating
want
them.
it. And I want it because I don't have to pay for it. Once I start paying for it, then I'm not going to want it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, okay, it sounds like you want your cake and you also want to eat it too.
It's like she's describing like Frasier reruns that are just on in the background. Like, I'm not going to sit down and watch it, but if it's on, it's on. But it's like, no, dude, there's a cost associated with these. You know, you're not letting The Simpsons play in the background. You're not like churning through Family Guy funny moments. These are eggs. They're in your mouth.
Yeah. I'm just imagining now he buys like, like Zone Perfect bars that cost, about like 10 or 15 bucks per box. And they kind of only give you maybe like 10 bars. And she goes to the box and she's like, well, I'm not hungry, but I'm a little bored. And she just eats.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that is exactly what's happening. Like, down to the food stuff specifically.
That is so good. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Danny.
Yeah.
Are we good to vote on this
I'm
one?
good
Yeah,
to vote.
100%.
Decision time.
All right. In a will of the council first, folks, is the man the asshole? 3, 2, 1.
No. Very
it's
rare
a good
no.
day for
We love
men.
We
men.
love men on this
We-
podcast.
We love men.
Now, the post does say,
Ugh.
how would you handle this? So should we respond in kind?
Break up, hit the gym,
No,
lawyer
shut
up.
up. I mean, this is an easy one. It's just like start talking about finances.
Yeah, you
Like,
mentioned it before. I guess there's no
Yeah.
real reason to go through it again, but
I think it's honestly, here's my relationship belief. Sometimes an argument and a disagreement can lead to a very loving conversation. Sometimes you can spin arguments into something that's, very positive and loving. And I think this is one of those
Writing this down?
situations where it's like, do you want to take the next step and just like have a joint account? Like, I don't know how long they've been dating. I don't know if they mention it, but like if it's that time and it feels natural, this seems like the type
And they're
of
buying groceries together.
yeah, this seems like the type of disagreement. It's like, there's an easy resolution to this. If you're ready to take the next step, let's think about creating a joint account that we contribute to.
100%
And then,
agree.
At minimum, have a financial discussion.
the heart bar goes up in Stardew Valley or
Shut
whatever.
up, bro. Let's go to the next
Yeah.
one.
The council has spoken.
God, you are such a fucking gamer. But would it surprise you to hear that you are not the biggest gamer in today's episode?
Oh?
So excited.
Yeah, I only know the title. I didn't want to read this before.
Oh my
Okay,
God, I'm so pumped.
God,
I know.
this one comes from r/am I the asshole. It is
The
7
OG.
days
You
old.
can't even do it. You can't even do it.
He's crying. He's crying. We're trying to do it. He's like crying. Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for making the Age of Empires 2 new villager sound when my wife gave birth to our first child?
It's so
Rebecca, I hate to make you do
Please.
this. Can you put up the 1 second Age of Empires 2 new villager sound? Okay, so it's not super recognizable. It's just a right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to keep these as brief as possible. Just over a week ago, my wife gave birth to our first child. I got called about it during work and rushed to the hospital to be with her during the labor. Congratulations. This guy passed the test where he goes and calls his mom first.
Yeah, exactly.
It was obviously a very stressful time. It took more than 15 hours from start to end, but our little one was born and nearly healthy. I was in the room for nearly the entire time, other than briefly heading out for food, toilet, etc., holding her hand and being the punching bag as she swore during the worst of it. As it was getting towards the end, just as the head was coming out, and it all happened very quickly, more medical staff came into the room, and I am someone who gets nervous around a lot of people. I think because of the nervousness, I was talking a bit more, introducing myself to the new people, making jokes. I hope it's not a bad omen. The weather is bad. The thunderstorm had started outside so we could hear it. And when our baby came out fully, at that second, I made the Age of Empires 2 new villager sound. And then in parentheses, as a joke. But I think only my wife understood the reference, as the doctor and nurse gave no reaction. That's crazy. They didn't get it.
Wait, they're not gamers? What?
And the look she gave me could have sunk 1,000 ships. She looked so angry before then seeing our little one and smiling, but didn't look at me for a half hour, and even then was really annoyed for the rest of the day. I thought it was a joke that went down badly in a moment of high anxiety, but my wife has twice told me I ruined a moment she hoped would be one of the best of her life. I apologized both times, but she had this look I've not seen before, something beyond disappointment. It's really put a downer on the past 9 days of what I thought would be our happiest time together after what was obviously a very stressful time, for her mostly, of course. Am I the asshole?
I feel like I Show Speed, where he's like trying not to laugh, and the kid's like, yeah, I see you laughing in stream, bro, and I'm like, I can't laugh. Oh God.
Okay. You mind if I?
No, this is all you,
please.
please.
Folks, someday, for the women in the audience, you may be faced with the worst possible thing that a woman can experience, and that is learning that the father of your child is a gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, this is just so bad.
It's
So
okay.
bad,
Can I do initial
dude.
thoughts?
Yeah.
Initial thinking. So childbirth is a level of pain and trauma that I will never experience. And I will do, if my wife and I ever do decide to have kids, I will never understand what level of pain that she's going to go through in that moment. So I know I am going to do whatever she wants. Like, I get it. This is like the worst thing ever. I will be there. I will do whatever she needs. Okay. And that's just, I personally feel as a man and as a husband, that's the right thing to do. Right. The other thing is like, what is she so mad about? Like, okay, I'm not saying that to being like, oh, she shouldn't be so mad. I'm actually like questioning, like, what is there to be mad about here? I'm really trying to put myself in her shoes and figure it out. Is it like, does she think that the husband wasn't taking the moment seriously? Is that it?
Good. I'm so glad we're going to have some kind of disagreement over this.
No. I'm not
Okay.
even trying to argue. I literally am asking. I'm actually trying to I'm being guided here about what she's mad about.
I'm reading a lot into this. She's the only one that got it, right? This is
Right.
not a reference you make accidentally. I would imagine that this guy constantly playing Age of Empires 2 is something that has persisted throughout the relationship.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Good point.
Here she is with him at the most important moment of their marital life, the peak of kind of it's all downhill after this.
Oh my God.
And
So dramatic.
she can't even get him to stop doing stupid computer shit now. When they're supposed to be together, he's like, ooh, remember the computer game that I played?
My computer game?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right,
Yep.
thank you. I'm
Yep.
I'm kind of like thinking about it, like, yes, I mean, is that it? Like, because there's the part of me that's like, God, it was like a tiny little thing that he did, and like, but also like, okay, yeah, can you please be serious in this one moment? Like, yeah, I get it now.
Because Joseph hits it on the head. How does she know this sound effect? And how does she know the sound
exposure.
effect that he did it off of his own breath? And it's like, Rebecca played it before, but it's a 2-second sound bite. If you didn't know, you would never know, right? Like
You would never know, yeah.
never know. So like we are adding context that's not there, but the evidence in the post showcases it because there's no shot she does not hear this sound or him making this joke in other places. And then you do it during pregnancy.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, I don't
Oh
know
my
if this is
God.
a
It's
bit he
so
does
good.
or he just plays the game too much or something. But whatever it is, it was definitely not right to do it then, clearly. And of course, obviously.
I will say, I think I can empathize with this guy Like, he's trying to do bits at inappropriate times. That's like my favorite thing to do ever.
Yeah.
But like, there is a point where you got to cap it, and it's probably the birth of your first child. I would say is probably the point where you got to cap
That's
it.
probably when you should be a little bit serious.
And the reason, it's important because, it's a huge milestone and it should be given a little bit of gravitas for that reason, right? But I think one of the bigger reasons why you should cut off bits specifically then is your wife is going to be more unwilling to tolerate your bullshit in that moment than any other time that she has ever known you. That is like the 100% most painful, vulnerable she will ever be. You got to rein it in for just a couple minutes. Yep. Just if he had done it later in the day, I imagine she would have been fine with it. But like, as the baby comes out, doing the bit is like, dog.
Could you imagine you're at your wife's pregnancy, and as soon as she's done and the baby's out, you put on this voice because you're so nervous and you go, "Job's done."
I was gonna say, thank God he played Age of Empires and not like Tides of Darkness. What is this? My husband who plays StarCraft 15 hours a day. My life for ire.
Taz Dingo.
You hold up your baby, you're like, "Squire, attend me."
Ready, sir. Oh my God.
To talk about his situation,
just I think the disclaimer of he was nervous and there was a lot of people, so there's maybe that's something that's happened. I'm trying to empathize with this, but it's hard because it's just impossible.
It's so difficult.
Okay, I hate to be like this. Don't you people know how to behave?
Yeah, it's that. I was like, I needed some guidance at first because I'm like, okay, like I need to understand what to empathize with here. And now that you're putting it in this perspective, it's like, holy shit, yeah. Like, please take this moment seriously. Is there no moment where I can be free of your bits? Like,
or like not even bits, but from your video games. Like, oh my God, please be with me. Like, fuck.
That's it. It's literally that. Just be with me. Are you ever going to be fully present with me in this moment? Yes.
Nothing beats the parentheses as the doctor and nurses gave no reaction. I keep laughing at it.
What did he think they were going to be like? Oh shit, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, man. Nice joke.
Age of Empires 2? I love it. It's great. Imagine catching the ick like as the baby is coming out of your fucking vagina. Imagine.
You're like, wow, I don't think I should be with this guy.
Yeah.
I can't buy the nervous around people excuse.
No.
I just can't buy it. Like, I get it. Like, I don't know, but they're doctors, man. Like, I don't know. You should know these people. I get that being nervous around people can be tough and etc. But it just doesn't excuse any of this. There's no way.
Yeah.
You know what I do get? I do get the like, oh, bad omen for the thunderstorm. That's like awkward, and you're like just trying to make conversation or whatever, and you're in the moment. That could be weird and awkward, but whatever, right? You move past those, and that's okay. But
I think even the bad omen for the thunderstorm thing, I think
that honestly is worse. I think
that's even worse. Like, dude,
shit.
shut the
well,
fuck
maybe
up.
It's worse. I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, and
I
it's
know.
not.
We just want to see it from this guy's perspective.
I just want to explore it, but it's just not there.
You know what I gotta say is that like this shit would have gone hard as the punchline to a Control-Alt-Delete comic.
Oh my God, so true.
It would be so
like if this shit happened in like Penny Arcade, oh my God, you could buy shirts with this on it.
You would go to PAX East and it'd be like the comic on like the front art book you'd buy or get for free.
People would do it in real life, emulating the comic.
New loss, anyone?
Yeah, it found is. What if instead of running in and she just experienced this traumatic event, they got to talk about the computer games they like. Oh my God, this one's rough, man. Rough.
It's rough. It is rough. You can't do this shit.
It's so funny because he's like, am I the asshole? Dude, in your post, she wrote, you ruined a moment that she hoped would be one of the best in her life.
Yeah.
She explains to you why you are a jerk. She said it. It's really put a downer. Well, like, no shit. You know what was the downer?
It's put a downer. I wonder who's responsible.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man, this
good.
whole thing has been really a downer. This whole thing that I did, to be clear, that
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
responsible for.
Yeah, let me be
What a
clear.
downer, me.
I did it.
I will say, you know, I don't think that like there's some people in the comments that are like, not everything has to be like super serious, and you know, having some levity is good, and I agree with that. And there's like, I'm sure you can riff while you know this is happening, but like this is just a bridge too far. Making the Age of Empires bit when the baby pops out, yeah, you should probably at least be a little respectful.
Agreed.
Agreed. It's really just Danny said it best when it was like, please be present with me, and that's like, this
Yeah, be
is
with
just
me, man.
Yeah, be with me.
Fuck.
This is like, regardless of the I'm nervous around people stuff, you can remedy that by just focusing on her. You know what I mean?
I like,
yeah.
I'm nervous around people. Like the nurses come in and he's like, oh man, how am I going to be friends with all these people at once? Oh, jeez.
I got it.
How am I going to warm this crowd? It's like,
Yeah, right.
dude, it's
I'm so confused. Like,
it's not a fucking, you're not in a basement doing stand up. Like,
Yeah, just
they're there
shut up.
to do a medical procedure. Like,
oh my God, I don't get it. Like, listen,
do you think the doctors and nurses after a surgery are like, that guy was really weird?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think if you like aren't friends with them, they're going to be like, why was her husband so unfriendly? He didn't chat us up. He didn't like make
yeah,
any
that was
jokes.
weird. Why didn't he make an Age of Empires reference? Like, that's what we
Yeah.
love around here.
Yeah.
At, you know,
Yeah.
the
I saw he
hospital,
had the
you know.
shirt on. All right. Everybody ready to move on?
Decision time.
Oh, I guess we should vote, right? Is this guy the asshole? 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And right back we are, men hater.
Yeah.
We're 50-50 on hate, man. This is going to be the tiebreaker here.
All right, tiebreaker. Here we go.
The council has spoken.
This next one this one's a lot, you know? We've had two
Oh,
kind of
no.
strange ones. This one is, I don't really know the solution to this one, is how I'm going to begin with this. So get excited to rack your little brains. We got to solve these people's like interpersonal conflict here, or else we've failed as podcasters. Comes from r/relationship advice. My 33M wife, 34F, thinks my orgasms are gross.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
How do I handle this?
Okay. I'm in. Let's hear it.
I'm in.
All right, it begins. My wife and I have been married only 2 months. We dated 2 years and got married this year. We don't have any children, and I would like to have children one day, but my wife has suddenly and unexpectedly told me she thinks when I orgasm, I shouldn't do it around her. She said
Huh?
specifically that she thinks semen is gross and it's not important that I have an orgasm during sex. I just
What
remind
the
you,
fuck?
listener, this is from the
What?
perspective of the male. We're used to this from the other perspective, but
Yeah.
we had sex once or twice a month leading up to getting married. I'd like to have had more, but I understand life gets in the way. But she would never want me to ejaculate. She would have her orgasm and then would say I could finish myself in the bathroom or something. I've asked her to help me. She told me it's not her responsibility to get me to orgasm. She thinks semen is gross and unimportant. When she mentioned the semen point, I asked her how she thought we'd have kids and how she'd get pregnant if we didn't have sex the normal way. She told me it was rude to call it non-normal. It made her feel inadequate. But the part that shocked me was she said she'd prefer to go IVF and choose a donor based on certain features she'd like her kid to have. She kept saying her kid, not ours, or even acknowledge that I'm a part of this. She said that while she loves me, she wants what's best for her kid and wants the best donor she can find. This is a complete 180 from what we discussed before getting married. She says I'm selfish for wanting my DNA for our child. I'm completely confused. She has never talked this way before we got married and never mentioned it. I'm totally lost here. How do I explain that she changed almost overnight and is being unrealistic? I'm afraid she's leading us down the route of a sexless marriage, but then I feel guilty for thinking that she owes me something. This is a puzzle, isn't it?
What the fuck am I
No,
reading?
You
This
just
is not a puzzle.
This
You
is the
need a
most
divorce.
insane woman I've ever heard.
This
This
is
woman, oh, this is
repulsive.
awesome.
Like, I'm sorry. It would be the repulsive the other way too. Like, sex is a two-person activity.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. This is a puzzle in the way that sometimes you open up a puzzle. You guys are familiar with the concept of puzzles.
Oh, of course, of course.
And 1,000 pieces spread on the table. and you like collect all the red pieces and you're like, okay, the red pieces make a dragon. But then it turns out the red pieces make an orangutan. I think this man married a dragon and has ended up with an orangutan. What's going on here?
Yeah.
What is happening?
The
Yeah.
puzzle here is, how is this a real person? How is this like, what is something's going on?
Okay, so you know how we had the previous guy who became like the tantric love, we will never touch each other, I'm gonna retain my semen guy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what if she had a similar experience and was like, I now hate men, I am, devoted to closing the orgasm gap, I will never make you come because you're a man and I hate men now. Like, what?
Maybe she's been listening to the podcast too much.
Yeah. It's our fault. We've done this to her. I'm sorry, man.
Men are great.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely 100% agree. While I don't know if it's that exactly, it is it feels to me absolutely some kind of cult or some kind of thing she's joined or has been brainwashed about and has flipped everything overnight.
It does smack of like cult shit. But like, here's the thing is that one, is the orgasm thing new? I can't really get it based on how he's written this. I think that she has always been this way about orgasming, but has never been this way about pregnancy.
Yeah.
Which, first off, unfortunately, the number one piece of advice I can give you is go back in time. And if someone is this weird about your orgasms, do not marry them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like how many women would we say if a guy's like, it's not my responsibility to make you come, just leave. You hit the bricks.
Yes.
Yeah, literally, I would say that. And I'm going to say that here, too.
Yeah, not to talk up how much of a quick shot I am also, but like, it's not hard to make a guy come. Like, women, there's a bit of a puzzle involved. It's not impossible. It's very doable. But guys, I mean, you just got to show up. It's not that. It's really simple for the most part.
It's like, clearly this guy is enjoying sex and makes it a priority to have her reach climax. Which, like, yes, that's the proper thing as a guy to do. But, like, okay, what is it with people in sex? I'm just kind of, okay, let me just... I'm looking at this from a macro...
Freaks.
Freud is in his grave cackling.
Yeah, Freud is fucking laughing it up.
What is happening with some people? I think some people just don't like sex. And I think
that's fair.
They need to be more open about that. Because I love sex, of course. And it's like, I find myself with a person who also enjoys sex. So...
What?
Crazy, right? So... I mean, I don't know. We make each other nut, and then we like, oh, that was great. And we cuddle for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And then we go, oh, what a great start to the day. Or what a great end to the day. Or middle of the day. I don't know if we're feeling spicy.
Well,
and then, like...
Great start of my work day.
Yeah, exactly.
Great day at work. Or
like, oh, we both woke up early, And this is like, that just feels so normal. Like, what is... I can't imagine somebody being like, I actually never want you to come. I'd be like, okay, bye.
Like, yeah, it's like, whoa, this is over. Like,
yeah,
I'm out.
Like,
what? I gotta come. Like,
yeah, like.
Danny, just as a heads up, if you ever find yourself in this situation, I can't help you out with if you need like someone to help you out.
God.
Like you could have me on call as the bust brigade.
The bust brigade.
I'll be like the Ghostbusters, but like emphasis on the bustin',
I can't get over the fact that she's like, oh, you can go to the bathroom and finish in there.
Oh, if anybody ever said that to me, I would just block them and never see them again.
I would never speak to that person again. Well, okay, there's a little inkling to me. Does it sound a bit like, I don't know, I don't want to say this, but like dom in nature, like a weird like dominatrix style thing of like, yeah, you can go finish over there, humiliation or something. You know what I mean? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but like it's not something explainable. I feel like.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
no,
Yes.
you're right. You're right.
I'm like seeing inklings of stuff, but it doesn't make sense.
There's no pass I can give for this.
I mean, well, clearly we know what's happening, right? Is like something changed, just like the semen retention guy. Maybe we should ban TikTok. Something changed. She got in with the wrong like online crowd or something, and now she has insane cult adjacent beliefs.
I think so. That is like the only through line I can see through this, because clearly she already had like some weird thoughts about like semen and orgasming like throughout the relationship, but now it's gotten to the point where since they've been married, it's evolved to this new fucking horrible Pokemon of now she doesn't even want to get pregnant from him. Also, like, wait a second, like I can't divine any sort of full truth from this. This is just fucking weird.
Also, let's talk a bit about how she says that semen is gross. This is awesome because we get to have this conversation again, but from the perspective of like men or whatever. But like, we've all talked about this in the past. Sex can be a little gross. You gotta
sex just
like,
is gross.
You gotta deal with that. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the joys of sex is that it's, you know, it's schnasty. It's,
yeah, that's,
you know,
that's like
you're
one of
not,
the good parts of sex. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
a
like-
little,
you're
gross
not
with it.
you're not rubbing up on each other like making the squeaking noises. Like it's gonna be gross. You got two different microbiomes and they're going to town.
Yeah, there's a lot of fluid, a lot of different types of fluid. Maybe multiple
Yeah.
different types of fluid depending on the
Hey,
kind
you know
of thing
what you're into.
you jive with. But like this, I mean, sex, yeah, you're right. That's like part of the fun of it.
I would put cum like not even in the top 3 of
Yeah.
gross sex fluids.
No,
like,
seriously.
legitimately, it is strange. It is very strange to me. Yeah, unfortunately, I think the resolution of this is 1, go back in time and don't get married to someone who doesn't like having sex with you. What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
And 2, get out of this marriage right now. This person is either has gone crazy or was crazy and you have just learned.
Yes. Yep.
Go.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
You've been married, what, 2 months? You dated 2 years. It's rough, but it's hardly the end of you. You know, I mean, COVID lasted longer than that, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just started, so get out quick, man. Like don't lock
Master
yourself
Duel
in.
is older than your your marriage. You know, you can leave.
Honestly, that's the thing is like a lot of people feel like trapped in a marriage, you know? Like, and I do get
Yeah.
that. Like, divorce sucks.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, I've never been through it, and I never want to go
Again,
through
not
it.
a divorce lawyer, by the way, but you might be able to get annulment on this one. This
Yeah.
one just started and changed radically.
Yup.
Yeah. Like, woo wee, that's rough.
That's crazy.
I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Like, not to put the blame on him, but I truly don't understand somebody that's like, oh, you can go finish in the bathroom. It's like, yeah, I can marry her.
Yeah.
Like,
At that, what? Like at that moment,
Guys,
how are
have
you,
a little
like-
more self-respect.
Yeah, have some respect for yourself,
Joseph,
dude.
thank you.
Yes.
Literally, you can respect yourself more than
Hey,
this.
Please.
girls too. If
Yeah,
you're
women
dating a
too.
guy that does that to you, don't marry him. In fact, leave him.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
Yeah, oh, go finish some other time. I'm busy, babe. Like, no, out.
Decision time.
Let's call this one real quick. Is this guy the asshole? 3, 2, 1.
No.
No, absolutely not.
The council has spoken.
We do actually have, if not a huge update, but a little bit of an update.
Okay, cool.
This is a
Oh.
day old, and since then, the guy has spoken to his wife. All right.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna read this one out to you. This is his last post. 2 hours old.
Fresh. Wow.
Here we go.
Woo!
I do have an update. I took most of the good advice, and I tried to talk to my wife last night. It did not go well. That's a big surprise to me
Big
personally. I
shocker.
thought
No
it was
way.
When I asked why she thought it was okay to have a baby with a donor and not me, she said it's because her choice and she wants the best genes. When I asked why she changed her tune from when we talked a year ago, she denied it. I showed her screenshots from when we texted, and she claimed it wasn't her. It was someone else. When I asked
Oh.
who, she couldn't answer, but alluded to her phone being hacked. When I asked if it's still hacked, or when she texted me she loved me, was that a hacker? She said it was her, but that hackers can change messages and make people look different.
Oh
When
my
I brought
God.
up how disrespectful that is to me, she questioned why it's important for me to have a kid in the first place. When I mentioned a cost, she flipped out and said she won't go to a clinic run by deep state doctors.
Yes, I knew it!
Yep. Yep. She has a list of them that don't murder babies. I
Yes.
asked to see this list. she refused to show me. When I tried to bring up having sex recreationally, she shut me down. She said I'm a disgusting pig who can only think about my own dirty genes. She said she wants to make sure her kid has blonde hair and is white.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I called this shot like crazy mode.
Yep.
Oh
Me
my
too.
God. I am so proud of myself. Fuck.
This poster is also white.
What?
It's
This
just like the
woman
wrong white.
rocks.
I don't
It's
know.
like, are you okay?
She's never expressed these ridiculous and racist views before, though I did notice she has been spending hours on Facebook and some other website after I go to bed. I think I may know the website. I think I may be a little familiar with that one.
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
maybe that bonus guy, John Johnson 1487 might be posting there too.
Schmaley, Schmeyer, Schmott, Schmom.
No, this is a different website, Danny.
Oh,
This is a website that
I don't know what it is.
unfortunately I think she's losing grip with reality and falling into some bizarre conspiracy theories. I asked her to see a counselor because I am concerned about us, and she said that doctors will want to load her up with medication that makes her a zombie. It's a way for them to control people, and she had stopped taking hers last year because it was impugning her soul. So, I'm seeing a lawyer this week.
Good shit, dude.
Who said we don't need lawyers? In short, apparently my wife was medicated while dating and engaged, never told me, lost grip on reality, and is now falling into some sort of conspiracy theory trap. After I talk with the lawyer, and if it's okay with the lawyer, I'm going to call her parents and let them know I'm concerned about her and that I cannot be a part of this mess. I thought I knew her and I love the woman I know, not the one who I married. I wish I had a better outcome for you all to hear about.
No, I'm glad this guy kept himself, safe. And
Yeah, I'm glad he got the fuck out.
He got
I'm glad
out.
he's leaving.
And the context makes sense now, right? She was
Yeah.
on medicine. She was kind of controlling her mental health, and things spiraled right at a kind of terrible point.
I gotta say, again,
shit.
I'm kind of coming around on the TikTok ban. They got
I
some
know,
crazy ass
I'm kinda
conspiracy
coming around it.
theories out there these
Yeah.
days.
I've whipped right back around it.
Not to be
Ooh,
like
man.
I'm smarter than this person, but like, man, how do you fall for a conspiracy theory like this? You just dumb.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
What's the response to
I
like,
think it's got to be that.
I want my baby to be white? Yeah, I'm white. It's gonna happen. Like, how do you beat that?
No, I think I got it. I think I got it. What if she's like so far down into the racism rabbit hole where like she still is also convinced now that the Irish aren't white or like Italians aren't white? Yeah.
Well, I'm white, honey. You're Polish. Let's not go too far there.
Yeah.
The best is when he's like, "Here's the evidence. You texted me it." Well, that was a hacker. Did the hacker
Yeah.
say he loves me?
Well, that was a hacker. The deep state got into my phone and tried to get me to procreate with your dirty
As, I will
genetics.
say, as a member of the deep
like,
state, I am
Okay,
doing
I'm
that.
divorcing you now.
Do you think it was an accident that woman got with
Yeah.
the guy who plays Age of Empires? That guy was unfuckable, but I did what I had to.
That guy should have never had sex, but I have to do miracles for the federal government.
I think this woman is trying to start her own Age of Empires. She's trying to,
Oh,
she's trying to start the Aryan Empire today. She said.
Oh, we gotta kill you, dude. We gotta kill you.
Oh, yeah. That's probably
yeah, we
true.
gotta kill you. That update was 2 hours ago. I was still at work. There was no way I could pre-read that, and I just called it in one.
You're
can't-
so good,
I'm
dude.
so proud of myself. I also have
You-
the
you-
glasses.
You have purchased the glasses. You now see that they live.
You
And
see the
what will
vision.
you do with that information?
I was so hoping you were aligned with my brain. I was like, I need him to say this is like an online thing that this person went through. And you said it. And I was like,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes, he fucking nailed it.
Yes.
That's exactly where I was.
Yes. Oh God, we're so good. We're so good at this. No wonder we're on the council.
That's enough jerking off.
Yeah, that's enough jerking ourselves off. You all can finish in the bathroom. You all can
I'm gonna
finish in the
make
bathroom.
myself
Is all
come.
I gotta say about this.
Yeah.
All right, see y'all next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.